All right, you guys. So, I was watching my sister try to air paint the other day. Yes, you heard me right, air painting. No canvas, no brushes, just waving her arms around in the air like she's performing some art ritual. And it got me thinking, oh, great. We've hit peak artist delusion in this family. I ask her, what are you doing? She goes, I'm painting with my mind, Aya. It's all about the energy. Oh, energy, please, sis. The only energy here is my blood pressure skyrocketing as I try not to laugh in her face. And she's all serious about it too, swaying back and forth, looking like she's doing interpretive dance in an invisible art gallery. I was like, should I charge people to come see this? Make it a whole tourist attraction? Witness the incredible floating painter of delusion? And I mean, I get it, okay? Artists need to express themselves. But air painting? Who knew you could skip buying supplies and go straight to waving around in your living room? And she starts describing her air masterpiece to me, saying things like, this part right here, waving at the literal empty space. This part represents my soul. I'm like, what soul? It's empty air. The only thing that piece represents is my patience disappearing. But oh no, it doesn't stop there. She tells me, you wouldn't understand, Aya. This is abstract. Abstract? Abstract? It's invisible. Forget abstract. This is a whole new genre. Imagination art. She's inventing an art form where you don't even have to create anything. You just stand there gesturing dramatically and poof, art. I asked her, what's the piece called? And she goes, existence. I nearly choked. Existence? Sis, the only thing that exists in this room is the sheer nonsense coming out of your mouth right now. This whole thing is like she's trying to sell me the emperor's new clothes of art. At this point, she might as well start charging people for air gallery tours. Over here, we have my award-winning piece called Void of Reality, and in the next room, Untitled Empty Space. The funniest part is she got offended when I said her air painting looked a little unfinished. She goes, Aya, it's supposed to be raw. Raw? You know what else is raw? My sanity after watching this nonsense for half an hour. But she's all in her feelings now, like, why can't you support my vision? Vision? I'd love to support it, if only I could see it. She actually told me, you don't get it because you're not in touch with the universe. Oh, right, because apparently the universe and her are tight, hanging out on Saturday nights, sharing secrets. I'm like, if the universe told you to do this, I think you might have heard wrong. Then, to top it all off, she stands back and goes, This is my best work yet. Your best work? You didn't even do any work. I'm standing there trying to figure out if she's messing with me. It's either the most avant-garde art project ever, or she's just waving her arms and praying I'll leave her alone. So here's my new philosophy on art, courtesy of my sister. Don't stress about details. Don't stress about anything. Just wave your hands around like you're casting a spell and tell everyone it's a masterpiece. Boom. Instant artist. Try it out next time someone asks if you're being productive. Just look them dead in the eye, wave your hands a bit, and go, I'm creating. Anyway, that's it for today, folks. Go out, wave at some air, and if anyone asks, tell them it's art. Thanks for listening to Aya Unfiltered, and remember, next time you're short on cash for art supplies, don't worry, just skip the canvas and paint with your imagination. So let me tell you guys about my sister and her newfound passion for what she calls air painting. Oh yeah, you heard that right, air, painting. Imagine standing there watching someone passionately wave their arms around in the middle of the living room like they're a mix of Bob Ross and a wacky inflatable tube man. Except there's no canvas, no brushes, and definitely no visible art. Just gestures, like a mime performance gone wrong. So I'm watching her and I say, what you doing there? And she gives me this dead serious look like I'm the one who's missing the point here. She goes, I'm creating a piece. It's about passion, energy. I had to bite my tongue. Passion? Sis, You're flapping your hands like you're conducting a symphony for invisible pigeons. I'm just standing there thinking, please tell me she isn't serious. Please let this be a phase. But nah, it's real, guys. She's totally invested in this. She even starts explaining it like I'm supposed to have some spiritual revelation watching her paint. She goes, see this part here? This is my soul reaching out to the cosmos. She does this big sweep of her arm, practically knocking over a lamp. I'm like, sis, your soul just elbowed the furniture. Can we put the cosmos on pause before you break something? But she's too deep into it to care. She starts swirling her hands around like she's a wizard casting spells, or maybe swatting invisible flies. I'm staring, thinking, this is it. She's lost it. My sister has become an interpretive art ghostbuster. But she just keeps going, like she's painting the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel with air. At one point, she pauses dramatically, looks at me, and goes, Aya, this is the essence of abstract art. You can't see it, but you can feel it. Feel it? Girl, all I feel right now is a headache. I'm just over here wondering if she's running a scam or if she's actually serious. I mean, when did we start charging people for hallucinations? And then she says, I'm calling this piece Emptiness Unbound. Emptiness Unbound. She's named it, guys. This piece of absolutely nothing has a title. You know, she might actually be onto something. An art form where you create nothing and still get credit. Imagine the possibilities. You don't even have to stress over supplies. Just set up a chair, do a little hand dance, and tell people they need to use their imagination. Genius. And it doesn't stop there. She starts telling me about her creative process. She says, I have to be alone with my thoughts, Aya, to feel the vibe. Right? Because apparently the vibe only exists in her imagination. I'm like, what vibe are we talking about here? Because the only vibe I feel is that I'm about to call an exorcist to get rid of whatever spirit has possessed you. But no, she's going for it. She closes her eyes, starts waving her hands again, and I swear she starts breathing like she's doing some kind of Jedi mind trick. It's like watching a cross between a seance and a modern dance recital. She's even got this look on her face like she's in deep spiritual pain, but there's nothing there. It's just her and empty space. And now I'm starting to question if I'm the crazy one. After a solid 20 minutes of this, she turns to me with tears in her eyes, real tears, and says, Aya, I did it. I've created the most powerful piece of my life. The most powerful piece of her life. I'm like, are you sure about that? Because I'm not seeing anything except air. But she looks at me like I've just insulted her entire lineage and goes, you wouldn't get it, Aya. You're too grounded in reality. Too grounded. Lady, I'm sorry I don't have a spirit connection to the void. She tells me, I'm calling this one infinite silence. Infinite silence. Look, I'm all for abstract names, but this is like calling a blank wall untold stories. I mean, at least a wall exists. She even tried to give me a guided tour of her art gallery. She goes, all right, over here we have fleeting thoughts. This one represents the passing nature of human existence. And I'm like, is it passing so fast I can't even see it? But she's dead serious. She's actually gesturing to the air like there's a whole exhibit there. I swear she's an invisible museum away from charging admission to her bedroom. Then she tells me, one day, people are going to look back and realize I was ahead of my time. Ahead of your time? Sis, the only thing you're ahead of is common sense. I mean, let's face it, if I started waving my hands around and calling it art, people would call it a breakdown, not a masterpiece. The best part, though, is when she finishes her imaginary masterpiece, sits down and goes, phew, that was intense. Intense? You didn't do anything? And she's just there, panting like she's run a marathon. I can't. I had to leave the room before I started questioning my own sanity. So, you know what, folks? If you ever feel like you're out of touch, just remember, There's someone out there, probably my sister, doing interpretive air art and calling it the next big thing. Just grab yourself some empty space, wave your arms around, and tell people you're expressing your essence. Hey, it worked for her. All right, that's all I got tonight. Go out, appreciate some real art, and remember, if you're ever in doubt, just air paint your problems away. Thanks for listening, folks.